What is up, friend on the other side of the screen? If you're new here, my name is Marcustheknight. I'm a 24-year-old content creator, and welcome back if you've been around the block before. If you've been following me for a little bit of time, you know that right now this is a very particular season of my life. And I'm trying to figure out how to really do this adulting thing. I am not an expert. This is not a person giving you advice. This is literally us walking this thing out together day by day, because your boy barely knows what he's doing, and I figure there's got to be somebody else out there that also doesn't know what they're doing. And so here I am. It's a wild journey, but it's an amazing journey nevertheless. A lot of you guys on social media have been asking for me to talk about relationships and friendships, particularly in the adult 20s realm, and what that looks like, about moving to a different city, about having different friend groups, things of that nature. Spoiler alert, your relationships and friendships will change. That is something that is guaranteed for everyone, whether they go to a new job, a new space, a new location. You will have different groups of people that come in and come out of your life. And number one, that's okay. It's okay for you to experience the fullness of what the world has to offer. The sad part about it is that you have to do a lot of unlearning and learning when it comes to the energy you put into friendships and relationships. Now, I say this as being somebody who has always been single. I had crushes on girls, when I was in middle and high school. So for this video, I'm talking more so about friendships, about what that looks like, what that might mean for you, what that might mean for me, and specifically what it means to have different types of friends in your 20s. So one thing that I want to say off the bat is that you will have different types of friends. Also, I just now realized I'm in my car right now. I'm at my apartment, just sitting in the car. So I'm going to turn on the air so that I don't overheat. Maybe I should turn on the air so that I don't have a heat stroke, because it's hot. It's hot in Nashville. But yeah, so you will have different types of friendships. Why do they just... I'm so sorry. There is a car right in front of me that literally just stopped. I don't know what just happened. Anyways, elementary, middle, high school, you kind of have your core friends. Mostly they're from school. You might have some church friends or some, neighborhood friends, things of that nature. But you kind of have your core group. When you get older, you kind of realize that you kind of need different friends for different things. You do. And that comes with what some people will call relational intelligence. Being able to successfully compartmentalize people in different areas. There are some friends that I have that are strictly spiritual. Talk about Jesus and the Bible. And I also have friends that are fun. Go and, just have a fun time at a restaurant or a happy hour, or crack up, laugh, all that fun stuff. I have friends for that. I have friends who are, I won't say they're professional friends, but they're people who I look up to in terms of partnership and mentorship. These are people in the industries that I currently work in, or industries that I want to get into, that I want to be in the same circle. I want to learn from them. I want to glean from them. I want to partner with them on different projects. I'm not attached to them because I want something out of them, but I want to stay in that same circle because I realize that there is wisdom, there is intelligence, there is experience attached to having certain people in your circle. And then I have some friends who are a little bit of everything, who we can crack up and we can have a game night and we can, go ham and we can be crazy and whatnot, and then we can still go to church tomorrow. And then, I can talk about my different, parts of life, things of that nature. I almost wanted to say it's good to have different groups of different friends, but the reality is you don't really need that many friends. You need people who can invest in you as well as you invest into them. I think one of the worst parts about being a person like me, if you've ever taken the enneagram, I'm a 3-wing 2, which means I love to achieve things and I love to help other people. If you have no idea what I just said, click the link above to watch my video about the enneagram, what that all means, and what my specific personality type is. When you're like me, I just have to say it, you're a people pleaser. You love to make others feel like they're known and valued and loved and respected, which means that in the midst of pouring out all this energy and doing all this amazing stuff, you tend to forget yourself. Even though you know a lot of people, you're around a lot of people know who you are, but because you haven't had that same energy poured back into you, you feel like nobody's there. And so there's a feeling of loneliness, there's a feeling of stress, there's a feeling of isolation that creeps up into your mind. Now granted, that's not always true. Sometimes it's just your mind kind of working into overdrive and just letting those intrusive and negative thoughts take over. But a lot of times those thoughts will come up into your brain saying, oh, they don't really like me, or I'm not trying hard enough, or I'm not hanging out with them enough, or this, that, or the third. Especially in your 20s, match people's energy. What they give to you, you give back. I believe in going above and beyond. I believe in, somebody doesn't have to treat me nice to treat them nice, because at the end of the day, it's what you did with your time here on earth. It's about how you made other people feel. And so I'm not like a eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, whatever it is. But in terms of ways that you invest into people, you should always have a kind heart. You should always have a grateful heart. You should always treat people the way that you want to be treated, but at the level of which you treat them that way. In terms of how much percentage of life's pie graph you give to that person, match their energy. If there are friends who can only hang out once a month and you're trying to hang out with them every other weekend, hang out with them once a month. Because when you do get together, when you do hang out, when you do share community, and when you do have those experiences, they'll be valuable to you. But the more you try to push something more often than naturally available, you tend to wear yourself out, and you tend to expend too much energy, and you tend to have those thoughts in your brain saying they're not answering, they're not responding, they don't want to hang out, they don't like me, blah 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 blah. And especially for extroverts like me, I want to hang out with somebody. I need to see somebody's face. Like, we got to be together, we got to talk it out, we got to share what's going on in our lives. Like, I'm that kind of person that really wants to invest in people, but I'm only going to invest in people as much as they invest in me. And that's not me saying I'm just only going to do this. It's simply prioritizing the time that I have, because if I don't, then I'm going to waste too much time chasing after things that don't exist. Number 2, a kind word or text or message goes a long way. I am so bad at keeping up with people. Like, when I promise you, I'm horrible at it. Like, some people I will have not talked to in years, and then one day I'm just like, dang, I don't know what's happening with this person. You have to be very intentional about reaching out to people. Again, to the extent that they will receive it with grace, with humility, with kindness. I'm not gonna reach out to you a whole bunch of times and you're not gonna respond. No hate, no tea, no shade. Prioritizing less people who are way into another area of their life. And that's not to cut them off. I'm not a fan of cutting people off. I am a fan, however, of releasing people to the space and grace that they've been given. Let's put it like that. I'm not gonna be like, oh, this person don't talk to me no more. They don't want to be friends, but and they're doing well without me. My hope is that you do well. I don't have to be a necessary part of you doing well in life. There are a lot of people who, frankly, I've been friends with for a long time, like a long time. And, you know, something might have happened where we had a falling out and, you know, it's unfortunate. And I grieved that friendship. I grieved the time that we had because it was time well spent. Though the fallout was unexpected, my end hope, my end goal is that you be successful. It might be in another city or country. It might be with another person. But as long as you're successful, that's all that matters. I did what I could do, and now you must do what I cannot do. Another point I'll make, and this is a shorter point, but be spontaneous. There's so many things that can bog you down and stress you out in your 20s. Sometimes you just need to be spontaneous. Sometimes you just need to call somebody up and be like, listen, I want us to try this new coffee shop, or I want us to, you know, go play mini golf, or I want to, you know, go to a concert. Like this video right now is in 2024. Since 2020 happened, a whole generation, it seemed like, of isolation and social distancing and virtual screens. More than ever before, people are craving relationship and friendship and connection with other people. Connection is the way that we see people as people and not as things or identities. I talked about this when I gave a TED Talk back in November of 2023, I believe. I talked about how being able to invest in relationships and create a legacy bigger than yourself, and believing people when they speak to you and hang out with you, and, you know, unlearning some biases and habits that you might have learned as a kid. Like, all these things are summed up in this idea of intentional connection with other people. If you haven't seen that TED Talk, click this video to actually watch the TED Talk. It's all about how to embrace humanity in an artificial world. If you want to watch the behind the scenes of that, about me getting ready for the TED Talk and, you know, being a TEDx speaker at 23 years old, or was I 24? Something like that. Watch this video to get that. But the point I'm trying to say here is, I lost my train of thought. Oh my gosh. You'll be surprised at how spontaneity fosters real, genuine connection. I've been blessed enough to have different groups of friends that have poured into me in different ways. So I have my actual friends, you know, my all-around friends who have been with me mostly through college, but then I also have my really good friend group at church, particularly in the young adult realm, where, you know, we can worship together, we can, you know, be creative with each other, and you kind of walk out this young adult life together. I also have friends still from like elementary and middle school who I talk with, you know, every now and then just to catch up and, you know, things of that nature. I've even made friends on Facebook, okay? Okay, so I'm taking a very well-needed commercial break because I just realized that I put my camera in the windshield of my car, and currently my car says that it's 92 degrees outside. So I probably shouldn't put a camera in direct heat and sunlight. And so I'm like, it's away from the windshield now. It's not, I mean, it's kind of still warm. This adult life is hard. There are a lot of things that you're gonna have to figure out, a lot of them by yourself, and it is good to have those people connected to you that you can depend on when you need this, that, or the third. And even when you don't need anything, it's good to just have people that you can depend on to sit there with you, to be in the situation with you, to affirm you when needed, to challenge you when needed. Even people who have done not so good things to me, and the people who are connected to me. For a period of time, they were still my friend. People always say, you need to be careful about who you call a friend, because not everybody is your friend. I get the sentiment behind that. I really do. I'm a big fan of saying, at the time, this person was my friend. We were friends for a season. We were friends in elementary school. There's different levels to friendship that I think people miss out on, because it's either friend or enemy, or maybe acquaintance. Like, there's so much more nuance to friendship than I think meets the eye. I'm very, very thankful for the friends that I've been able to make. And of course, I know that not everybody's Christian on here. I know that. But I believe, this is me, I believe that God gives you who you need when the time is right. I also want to show myself friendly, because you never know who might be going through. You never know. You might be the blessing that somebody else needs. You might be the friend that somebody else has been waiting for. And so I never want to always say me, who's going to be my friend, who's going to pay attention to me. And that's another thing, kind of a bonus point, is I don't really like small talk. Like, I get it if we're at like a convention or like a conference. Friend, if we're talking about the same 3 topics every single time we get together, I can't hang out with you. I'm sorry. There's something about being vulnerable and being open and letting people into the different parts of your lives, no matter what area of life you're serving as a friend underneath. Being able to see other people's humanity is something that I hold dear. If we go like a couple of seconds with just awkward silence, I'm already checked out. And maybe that's just me being impatient. Maybe the Lord needs to work on me a little bit. But like, if we're going to have a friendship, if we're going to have a relationship, we both need to be invested. And so, yeah, I hope this helped. Is that a smudge? Hold on. I think there's a smudge on my camera. But yes, if there's anything that I said that you agree with, that you disagree with, feel free to leave that in the comment section below. I would love to have a conversation about this. I would love to maybe make a part 2 if you really want to talk about some different things in the adulting section. If you missed part 1, which is kind of like the life update, here are all the things that are happening in my life, go ahead and click this video to watch part 1. A lot of fun things are on the way. I really do want to talk about the apartment moving process, because that's coming up really soon. So you'll see all that stuff, all the vlogs for that. I just got an oil change last week. There's so many random things that are happening, but I want to keep you along for the ride. So go ahead, subscribe right now, or save the playlist How to Adult series. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with your boy, your best friend, MarcusTheKnight here. Like, subscribe, share, do all that fun stuff. I have to take you to work with me at least one day. I have to do that at some point. But yeah, so many good things. I'm getting happy just thinking about it. But anyways, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you. And I'll catch you in the next one. See you later.